guys, it's Trina and this is my winter book haul. I do have 15 books to show you today. I'm going to start out with the two books that I have purchased myself recently. And the first of those was A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the third and final book in her Shades of Magic series, and I have not read the second book in this one yet, so please don't spoil me for it. I have bought both the second and the third book at events that she does at my local bookstore, and I just haven't gotten around to reading them yet, but she told me that was a good thing because apparently book 2, I'm going to want to go right into book 3 as soon as I finish it, so hopefully at some point soon I will just binge read these last two books in the series and finish it because I am very interested in it. And if you aren't familiar with this series, this is an adult fantasy series about a person that can travel through different dimensions, and the world is set in 4 different versions of London, and he finds an artifact from the evil version of London and he wants to get it back there and like get rid of it, and then he runs into a thief who steals it from him, and then he has to go after her to get it back, and they have to figure out what to do with this artifact. The second book I recently bought for myself was The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is a classic about a dystopian society where women are used only for like their ovaries. They are sold to families who can't reproduce so that they can be the ones to bear the children. I picked up a copy because I did join a book club that is reading all dystopian classics this year, and this is a book that they are reading in March. And I had never read it before, and there's a long wait for it at my library, so I just bought a copy. I am looking forward to reading this one because the story and the premise does sound really interesting to me. It deals with like women's reproductive rights and what happens when you have 0 rights over your own body. So it sounds interesting, and hopefully I will get to it this month. I was sent 8 books by Penguin Teen over the last couple of months, which was very generous, so thank you very much to Penguin Teen. The first thing that they sent me was The Midnight Star by Marie Lu, which is the third and final book in the Young Elites trilogy. I have reviewed this book in my January wrap-up, and I've also done a full non-spoiler series review of the Young Elites trilogy. This is a YA fantasy series about a world in which people have superpowers, and we're following a main character who may be a villain. She's struggling to decide if she wants to be a hero or a villain. Another one that I have already read is What Light by J. Asher. This is a YA contemporary romance. It is set around Christmas time. This is about a girl who her family runs a Christmas tree lot. She's moved to a new town so they can set up their tree lot, and she meets a boy there that his town and his school and stuff, they have a lot of rumors about him. There's something that he's done in his past that people think he is dangerous, and our main character gets to know him. And I will say he's not the typical bad boy trope. I did really like this story. I thought it was a great examination of forgiveness and moving past your past mistakes. I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave it 4 stars. I talked about this one in my December wrap-up. They also sent me a copy of Our Chemical Hearts by Krystal Sutherland. It's about a boy who's a senior in high school. He knows what college he wants to go to. He's got like a routine that he's going on in his life, and then there's a new girl that comes to his school, and they end up working on like the newspaper together. I think it's a romance, and this book does have disability representation because the girl love interest character does walk with a cane, but this one was a debut of last year that I was interested in. I just have not gotten to it yet. They also sent me Kids of Appetite by David Arnold. I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't really been interested in this book, but I'm still going to talk about it in case maybe you guys are interested in it. It's got one of those really obscure book jacket summaries. Somebody's father died and then somebody's uncle was murdered, and these two characters are like questioned by the police about how these things might have been connected, and this is the story of like everything that happened in between. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be a mystery. It just seems more of like an atmospheric contemporary story. I mean, I'm not really sure because I honestly don't know too much about it, but if you guys have read this one, please let me know if you liked it or not. Penguin also kindly sent me We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. This is a book that is about grief. I've heard that it is like heart-achingly beautiful, and it's a good depiction of grief, and I think that there might be a female-female romance in this that I think is own voices. They also sent me a copy of Traitor to the Throne by Alwyn Hamilton. This is the sequel to Rebel of the Sands. I did read that book recently, and I did really enjoy it, and I was really looking forward to the sequel, but I do want to tell you guys that the first book have some very negative stereotypes about Middle Eastern culture. I'll put a link in the description to an Own Voices review of that representation and why it was harmful. It was not something that I personally had picked up on when I read it, and I really regret that I enjoyed a book that included some of that, but it's a series that took Middle Eastern culture and like Wild West culture, mashed them together, and it's basically a rebellion story. Next up, they sent me Empress of a Thousand in the Skies by Rhoda Belleza, and this is a book that is science fiction. I think it's like a space adventure. This is about a crown princess whose family has been murdered. She escapes, but everyone thinks that she is dead, and the person who is blamed for her murder is like on the run, and the two of them cross paths and end up having to work together to stay alive because her supposed death has like started this massive war. So that sounds like a really interesting premise, and I'm definitely interested in this one. This is the last one that Penguin Teen sent me. It is City of Saints and Thieves by Natalie C. Anderson. This one is a YA thriller set in Kenya. It is about a girl who she and her mother are refugees from Congo, and I don't exactly know what happened, but the main character is wanting revenge for something. This is not a known voices story, but I do believe that the author lived in Kenya for some time, so I feel like she'll be able to capture the setting pretty well. The last 5 books that I have to show you in this haul are the books that I received in book subscription boxes. I did Outcrate, Uppercase, and the quarterly YA literary box, so I've already shown you guys these books in those unboxings and told you what they were about, but I'll just give you a really quick rundown. I got Roseblood by A.G. Howard from the January Outcrate box, and this one is a retelling of Phantom of the Opera. I got Frostblood by Elly Blake in the January Uppercase box, and this one is a 2017 debut. It's like a dystopian about a girl who has fire ability in a world that is ruled by people who have ice magic. So I think it's like a war between fire and ice. And then from the quarterly YA literary box for this quarter, I received The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, which is a YA paranormal fantasy about a girl who a bounty hunter from another world comes to get her, and they end up teaming up together, I believe. And also included in the quarterly box were Scarlet by A.C. Gaughen, which is a Robin Hood retelling where our main character is a girl that dresses up and acts like she is one of Robin Hood's merry men. And This Side of Home by Renee Watson, which is a contemporary about a set of African American twins who are both trying to discover their individuality, and I think it talks a lot about home and family. I don't really want to pick these up, but these are the 15 books that I have gotten in the past 3 months. If any of these books are ones that you really want to hear my thoughts on and you want me to prioritize over the others, let me know that down below. If you've read any of these or if you're interested in reading these, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!